Damon's in the studio. So, Damon, you're a longtime buddy, friend.
Yeah.
And what people don't know is
Long time.
there's a good chance that you're going to be on here weekly as a co-host. Because what I have found since
honored.
you should be. What I have found since dropping this podcast is that you probably have more. What's the word I'm looking for when someone's more appealing or more people want to hear you more than me? But
I sincerely doubt that. But I appreciate that.
Well, I own the microphone and the camera, so they don't have a choice but to get me. But if I can bring you on and use you for views or clicks, then that's what I'm going to do.
Well, here. 2012.
Yeah.
Why did after 2012, after opening ceremonies, what did that come after? What came after that?
You're talking about Babe Ruth?
Yeah.
When
The 2000 from opening ceremonies, and then 2000 we did right after 2012. We didn't have another contract, and then right after opening ceremonies, Steve Tellison, the owner of Babe Ruth, right after the opening ceremonies, he just looked over. He goes, "We got to do a 2-year deal," and we did it that following day. And we didn't play one game yet.
You're saying because I had something to do with it.
Ben, you were the man. It was, and people could go on YouTube. I think it's on YouTube.
We'll link it or something.
Are you going to find it and pull it up right now?
Yeah,
Link.
it was on 2012 Babe Ruth softball World Series, City of Alachua.
Which Steve's out of New Jersey?
Yeah.
Now,
What
did
did you
he
say to look up again?
I think it would go, YouTube, Babe Ruth Baseball, National, Babe Ruth Softball, National,
World Series?
World
Alachua
Series,
is shit
yeah.
come
Softball
off.
or baseball?
Softball.
Softball. Let me ask you a question. Steve's still working?
Yeah,
Still.
he's the owner, owner-operator,
Now,
CEO.
Did he know Babe Ruth or he knew someone who knew Babe Ruth? What's the...
His father. His father knew the family,
Okay.
to my understanding. And also Robert Faraday, who is still the current commissioner for baseball. He didn't necessarily know Babe Ruth, but he knew Babe Ruth's wife.
Really?
And he also knew Lefty Gomez, who is a Hall of Fame, pitcher, pitched for the Yankees. And there's some interesting stories about him from what Robert was telling me. He was quite the character.
Now,
And
where's
there's some
Robert live?
autobiographies about him as well.
Where's Robert?
New Jersey. Yeah, they're all in like the Cherry Hill, Trenton area.
If those guys come down,
Yeah.
gotta have them on the podcast.
That would be wonderful. A lot
Yeah.
of stories.
Yeah.
And so you gotta. I've hung out with Robert many times, and we've gone golfing and things like that. And he's a wonderful guy. Just amazing. Very great relationship he has with Hal Brady. And Robert would tell me stories about Babe Ruth that Lefty Gomez told him, and they are something else.
So Lefty Gomez played for who?
The New York Yankees.
And what year? What year
Oh, you're looking at the. He played with not only Babe Ruth, he played with Joe DiMaggio as well. So he was kind of that in between, like towards the tail end of Babe Ruth and the beginning of Joe DiMaggio.
The great
So I think,
Bambino.
like 40s. I think the 30s and the 40s. And Lefty Gomez was he was on the oversight committee for many years, like an advisory board for Babe Ruth National.
That's cool.
Yeah, some pretty interesting stuff there.
So I didn't grow up playing baseball, and I was downtown.
You're a basketball guy.
I am a basketball guy.
And golf.
I'm actually.
Ben's a very good golfer.
So it's very important that we stay on track.
Okay.
But I do want to dive into that because I've got a story about me and Tiger Woods.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you met him?
It's not that.
Oh.
It's I know he's a great golfer, but it's because he's played a lot more golf than me. If I had played as much golf as Tiger Woods, I would beat him in 18 holes all day long.
Oh, easily.
Easily. He practices way more.
Yeah.
Grew up around it. If I grew up around it, am I telling you I'm way more of an athlete than Tiger Woods? Yes, I am actually.
Oh, yeah.
So that's my story with Tiger Woods. And no, I've never met him. But if Tiger wants 18 holes, we can do it. Anytime.
We're calling him out.
If Tiger Woods doesn't
Here
accept
at
my
Turkey
challenge,
Creek.
if he does not accept my challenge, I'm going to the Live Tour.
Well, didn't they? Hey, didn't they just merge?
So that was actually on our topic of discussion today.
Okay.
So we're going to go from Babe Ruth to Live Tour.
Okay.
And so I'm not sure. They're trying to cover it up like the PGA Tour and the World DP Tour and something else all merged together.
Yeah.
But
this
now,
is complicated, yeah.
Well, it is complicated because the CEO of Live Tour is Greg Norman, right? The Shark.
The Shark.
And he knew nothing about it, but he's coming out going, no, Live Tour it's going to stay. We're still here, and we're going to work out details. I'm not sure what happened, but I can tell you if I'm a PGA Tour player who turned down money
Yeah.
just to then turn around.
That would be slightly frustrating, and I could tell you, like, what about Roy McIlroy? I mean, he was like, McIlroy. He was the guy that was actually
Spokesperson.
He was the spokesperson for, the PGA, and he really kind of said, look. And then Tiger even said, you got to earn your keep in the dirt.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, there was a little bit of back and forth going on, from what I understand, and then now all of a sudden they kind of did this behind the scenes. But I'm sure there's way more than we possibly know for what has happened. But if Greg Norman doesn't know what's going on,
I don't know why
why
they hate him so much, though. I don't know what the issue is. I don't know.
I think I think Greg, just from talking with my dad and like all his buddies that are really highly involved with golf, like he's pretty arrogant. He's pretty arrogant and cocky, and money is a big thriving force when it comes to him. But I guess it takes that type of person to have that tunnel vision for whatever it is that it may be. That's kind of what I heard. And he is just you to my understanding. You take Live Golf, you push it to the side, he's still one of the most wealthiest athletes on the entire planet. The Shark. He really branded the hell out of that.
In the 90s growing up, I remember like seeing those on hats.
Yeah.
It wasn't Titleist. It wasn't Nike. It was the Shark.
And he was the one who started wearing those hats.
Yes.
And
I don't know.
But I'm sure there are a lot of people out there who really like him. And he probably brought a lot of people to enjoy Live Golf.
What about Michael Block?
Oh, that was pretty interesting. What was he just he was just the for a country club pro?
That's it.
And he got a invitation.
It is important.
It
is important to note though that there's pros at golf courses who play a lot of tournaments to win money, and they do lessons. And then you have managing pros at golf courses who would play if I won't say they're not good enough, but they focus on their club a lot more on the day-to-day managing. I would say he was more of a playing club pro, but not a tour pro.
Yes.
But nonetheless, 40-something years old, and to go into the majors and to get to like top 15 is
pretty impressive.
Oh man, the whole thing's incredible. And I think the story, you get Rory McIlroy on the tee box teeing off a hole number 1, and then Michael Block. The crowd cheers louder for him. And I think the reason is because people sort of reflect like, that's me.
Yeah.
I'm Michael Block. That's my moment on the tee box right now. They're sort of living vicariously through him.
Yeah.
And
it's like a Cinderella story.
It really is. Well,
people like that.
He's got multiple tournaments he's playing in.
He is. And he got some additional invites to other PGA
because what matters,
events.
Not that you're good, that you can create influence.
Yeah.
Because I've now checked up on his scores of this tournament. He's actually in a tournament this weekend in Canada, the Canadian Open. But he's also in a tournament a few weeks ago. So I'm watching going.
So it's just getting the average golf viewer who is wanting to keep up with this guy.
He's getting clicks. He's getting views. He's getting interviews. He's hot. So
he's got a great personality too, it seems like. He kind of carries himself very well on the course.
Let me tell you something. If I get my podcast subscribers on YouTube from 25 up to 50,000 or something, and I start really pushing this golf thing, I might get a call and a sponsorship exemption. And let me tell you, if I show up to the course, there's a good chance I can win the whole thing.
You think so?
Absolutely. I'm not.
Jake, what do you think about that?
I've actually never seen him play golf, so he could be truthing.
All right, so I'm not comparing myself to Tim Tebow.
Oh, God.
Listen to me.
Oh, we are.
What do they say about Tim Tebow in practice? Not a good practice player.
Oh, I didn't know
not
that.
a good practice player.
Not a good player.
No, he's an incredible player. So we can do that debate another day.
When did they say that? Like,
they've just said it over the years because they're like, "What are y'all looking at? He's horrible." But then when he got in the games, he did something. Now I'm not talking first 3 quarters in the NFL, but we all know fourth quarter was Tebow time. And by the way, the dude upset the Pittsburgh Steelers in the playoffs, sent them home with a throw over the middle and a slant to Demaryius Thomas in overtime, right? I'm not going to keep on going here.
I've heard this monologue like 40 times, by the way.
There's
There's a very similar one that's a LeBron-hating one, but anyways.
Well, we can get into LeBron later. Let me just say this, though. Let me say this. I'm like Tim Tebow.
You are.
You're like, his practice is okay. But when I show up, when the lights are on, when people are watching, I'm like, let's go. and I can't help that. That's my natural gift that I was given. And I understand if you can't understand.
No. Well,
because it's not normal.
There were times, we would get to the course at a decent hour,
Mm-hmm.
and you would go out there and in the practice, on the practice round
And light it up. Maybe
Well,
not.
you
light it up.
struggled, but then
But
when
then-
you got out,
right.
there, you turned it up.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
that's because now it's go time.
But you know what's interesting? I notice your game really gets much better when you're playing against Robert.
My brother.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
is that still the case? Because you guys go back and forth the whole time.
Well, let me tell you something.
It's typically Robert and I versus you and Adam.
Okay, right. But here's the deal.
I think we're about even now.
We are. But I want to tell you something. If I'm talking, I'm not focusing. So when I'm playing serious, I focus. So when I'm out, so my point is, if Rory McIlroy walks up to me and goes, "Hey, mate," I'm not talking to him.
Wait, is he British?
I don't know what accent that is.
I thought that was
He's American.
Australian.
There's mate. Actually, well, that's interesting because I had some guy I met in Orlando at a water park. Our kids were playing in the water.
That knew about you about doing this?
Well, no, not about the podcast. This guy goes, "Oh, no problem, mate." And I was like, "Australian?" He goes, "No, England.
Huh.
I promise you." I'm like, I thought that was Australian. But no, Rory's Ireland. However, and I don't have that
Irish.
accent down. Well, you have Irish in you.
Some Irish stock.
Yeah.
A little bit, I think. Yeah, I do.
You never dressed up as a leprechaun?
I had.
Yeah,
I had several times.
That's a story for another day, maybe.
That was a good
Okay.
one. Yes,
However,
yes.
so-
It brought back some memories.
So Rory McIlroy is, number one, I like the guy a whole lot. And I like a lot of the players. I don't have a reason not to like him. But we talk about LeBron James. I don't like his style and stuff. But as an individual, I don't know him. I don't know him. I know what the media puts
Are
out
you
there.
a LeBron fan?
No. No. I don't know of any.
Why is that?
Um,
Producer Jake doesn't like that.
remember, I hate.
I don't really care for LeBron either. I just
You hear about it.
I think I just admire Ben's enthusiasm for his LeBron hatred.
You got to remember.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be very nice about this. We got to remember. So LeBron was born in the early 1980s. So
How old is LeBron now?
30. I think he's 38, and I'm 39. So that's 84, 85, 83. That's about when he was born. He's probably born in 84.
He's 38 years old.
38 years old.
Okay.
Born in 84.
I'm just going to say this: the more facts that I drop that are confirmed, the more people should believe what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
Okay. The thing about LeBron James is you grew up at a time when it appeared some athletes played with humility, and it's just changed so much. And I like respect for the game. When you ask Michael Jordan, people say you're the greatest basketball player of all time. Are you? He says that's not really a fair question. I didn't get to play with Wilt Chamberlain and Oscar Robertson and these other folks. It's not fair. I didn't play against them. So that's, in a way, disrespectful. And LeBron sits there on some pod interview or whatever with some buddies going, "Yeah, I knew in that moment when he hit some shot that I was the greatest of all time." Who says that?
Really?
Who says that? Donald Trump.
Yeah, he would.
That's
say
the kind of
something like
person that says stuff
Yeah,
like that.
Yeah, he would.
How about you let everybody else say it?
Yeah.
That's
And
so
the two of them don't like
yeah.
each other.
And now, right now, first off, I know they don't like each other. Opposites attract.
yes.
They should like each other.
Yes.
But here's the thing. I think LeBron James' game, it's unorthodox. It's like Tim Tebow. So Tim Tebow is like, oh, he's different. Tim Tebow's different, and LeBron James is different. He's not like a great ball handler. He's not a great shooter when he's got a 45% field goal percentage because he dunked the ball. Because he's not a great shooter overall. He's not horrible, right? He's one of the best players of all time. One of the best players of all time. I don't think he's the best player of all time. But his game, though, who out there is doing what LeBron James does? Hey, I want to do what LeBron does.
Yeah.
They're trying to do Michael Jordan's fadeaway.
Yeah.
They're trying to do Steph Curry's pull-up three-point shot. They're trying to do Allen Iverson's crossover. And his game is not, his basketball skill set or game has not revolutionized the game at all.
Do you think a lot has to do with just his size and his stature? I mean, the guy is like a beast. It's like he's like a linebacker.
You may be
out
right.
there.
I mean, if you don't
And
have,
just a
if you
driving
don't have,
force to the
why would he have to do fadeaways when he can get to the basket, right?
True.
Why would he try to shoot 3-point shots from 50 feet out when he can go dunk it?
yeah.
So that's a good point.
Yeah, I with the going back with Michael Jordan, one thing I did respect what he said was, back in the 90s, the 80s and the 90s, Michael Jordan was the type of guy that, he stuck with one team. And, if another team like reached out to try to get him, these are hypotheticals that he was talking about. He said, I would say absolutely not. He goes, I didn't want to play with Larry Bird. I didn't want to play with Magic Johnson. I didn't want to play with Charles Barkley. I wanted them to stay over there. I stay over here. I wanted to play them to beat them.
Right.
I mean, that's pretty hardcore, and you got to respect that.
Well, it's like in schools where you have the East Side School and the West Side School or whatever schools, and there's these rivalries. How can you ever go play for the rival?
Yeah,
this is us. This is our home, and this day it's changed.
The culture has changed in basketball. It's like they're making phone calls. Hey, why don't you come over here and
let's go hang. These kids
But these guys make more money off of endorsements than they do actually playing the game. So
that's right.
Right. I guess they're trying to find a way to get more likes and more, for whatever they're endorsing outside of basketball. So they're just probably trying to get on the highest platform possible, and what does that are wins.
Yeah.
So if you just just kind of thinking out loud there, who knows?
I'm not into conspiracy theories, but the Miami Heat are in the finals.
I saw that.
In Game 3, I turned it off early because people go, "Oh, the games are rigged." I've never in my life went, "Yeah, the games are rigged." I know that there was a guy who got arrested who was the referee.
The referee. Yeah. What was his name?
Was it Donahue?
Something like that. Yeah.
But whatever. That game at a home, Miami Heat has beat Denver on Denver's floor. The effort they put out was so bad, it looked like they were throwing it. I watched Jimmy Butler get ripped by, what's that guy's name? Is it Jamarcus or something? I don't know if it's Russell or whatever his name is. It was
D'Angelo Russell?
What's his name?
D'Angelo Russell.
He's with LA, isn't he? It's the guy with for Denver. It's their guard. He's really good. Dude, he got ripped so easily. He wasn't even guarding him. He was guarding a guy in the corner, and Jimmy Butler tried to drive off the right side of the through the wing and ripped him like it was nothing. And it was like, what are you doing? It just, I don't know how you can. And then after the game, there's a headline: Jimmy Butler takes responsibility, going to get our energy up. We need to have better energy. And I'm not understanding why you don't have energy. Like, how are you not like, dude, this is it. This is our legacy, and we go. And so I'm not saying it's rigged, but it didn't look like NBA basketball to me.
Oh, yeah. So it was sloppy. It was a sloppy game.
It was lazy. It was like not grind. It wasn't like this is it. This is like our last breath.
Is the NBA, are they surviving? I mean, as far as ratings go and things like that, they're doing pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because college basketball, that's where I like watching college basketball more. Is it because of the one and done factor? You're not too big of a fan, or?
I actually don't watch a ton of basketball.
March Madness used to be my favorite.
I watch March Madness.
Yeah.
So I do basketball like if it's NBA, I'll come in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Because they're not playing the first quarter.
You're also a big basketball guy. I mean, you study, you understand the plays, you understand.
Don't ask me my favorite offense.
The run and gun?
Triangle offense.
Triangle. Yeah.
Which is what Kobe, those guys did with Phil.
Michael.
Which Tex Winter is the man who created the offense. But what's Phil Jackson?
Phil Jackson
Michael
perfected
Jordan,
it, or
it's just a spacing offense, which is absolutely boring to people listening to this to even talk about basketball offenses. However, the triangle offense is my favorite, and it's something we ran when I was coaching in high school a little bit.
And you guys are pretty successful with that.
Oh, we were decent with it. We only ran it for a couple of years around some guys, key players that we had. I wanted to keep going with it. And the coach.
Yeah, you have to find the talent. You just have to you have to coach to your talent.
You do, and you change it up. But anyhow, yeah, we'll see. But basketball's good. It's just that looked rigged to me as far as the NBA goes.
Well,
do you look back? So when you think about growing up, like Michael Block, I was talking about the golf thing and being a kid, and all, the kids grow up differently now, don't they?
Yeah.
You think they're gonna look back one day, like and go, "Man, remember we were growing up and I beat you in Fortnite." Yeah, remember how we kind of dropped in from the helicopter in our parachutes, and I was around that one wall.
Maybe you're probably
and then
right.
you powered up with that.
Or Pokemon? Is that
right,
that's another thing too?
Like,
it's not,
producer.
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm not going to your age group, but
what's up?
Like, what is it like? If you say, "Hey Ben, what do you remember most about your childhood?" Right?
Hey Ben, What do you remember most about your childhood?
I was going to ask myself that question.
Okay.
So I remember being in scouting. I remember camping. I don't know if that's funny. I was in scouting.
yeah.
I hope I just hope you're not a part of that class action lawsuit. That's all.
No, I'm not part of any lawsuit.
Is it the whole Boukari's do this, or it was just you that did the?
Two of my brothers were in it.
Okay.
But I enjoyed scouting. I enjoyed camping. Enjoyed doing outdoor stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Naturally, if I was born today, I would be doing probably the same thing kids are doing today. I'd be more gaming and stuff. But if you said, yeah, I mean, in my family, if we talk, yeah, I remember we did this and we did that, and I just wonder if kids, they are so consumed.
What was the question for me?
The question is, I wonder, so I was going there, if kids are consumed by their, like, what do you go and look back? Go, yeah, I have a fond memory of looking back as a kid at something you did. Like you say, oh yeah, can you ever say, yeah, my kids in the neighborhood, we all got together and we went and played pickup basketball.
Yeah. Definitely.
Y'all did that?
Definitely.
All the
Kids
time?
still do that all the time.
I'm not buying that.
Okay,
What do you mean all the time?
What 15-year-old kids are you around without incriminating?
That's true. That's true. That's true. I'm not around kids.
Uh-huh.
But
I feel like your perception is skewed
fair.
based off of
Okay.
Facebook.
Well,
Facebook.
I think a little bit. I think it's a little bit of both. I mean, just from being at the rec center, the outside basketball courts, or they're not being used as much as they once were. The skate park is
You've
not
seen
being
it change.
a little bit.
Yeah, they got
a
the
little
inside
bit.
one though. Like,
Yeah,
why would you go
we
outside?
do have the inside one.
Well, who's going to skate at a skate park in the hot sun when you can sit in
But
a
number-
dark room in a house and play on your phone with a skateboard?
But numbers have dramatically dropped from a recreation standpoint as far as production and
Whose phone is
youth athletics. That's me.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. So because there are more, possibly just more opportunities,
Mm-hmm.
that could be one of them as well.
Okay.
But I
That's
do
true.
know that, the gaming aspect has really taken over.
Which I'm
Yes,
not
sir.
saying it's a bad thing because it's
No.
just a different, right?
No, I mean, that's who knows if we would have had that. We're like the last of the latchkey kids.
Well, we also grew up.
We're outside. Like when for me, when
Yeah.
I got in trouble, whether if it was at school or something at home, I mean, I couldn't go outside.
Mm.
It seems like a little bit of today's culture. It's like, yeah, if you get in trouble, you're like, get out of the house, go outside.
Well, and you got to think about, so before my generation, I was born in '83. So before me, they would have been like, yeah, well, we didn't, go 20, 30 years before that. Well, we didn't go play outside. And maybe they played some. Everybody plays some. We went and worked with our families on the farms and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So
The generations,
it's always
and
changing.
it's always evolving. Yeah, absolutely.
I think that's probably the biggest problem is how available the kids are to the parents. Like with Life 360
absolutely.
and
Yeah.
all these tracking apps. Like,
Yeah.
when you guys were growing up, you would just go out of the house
And disappear?
You knew that once the streetlights
Come on,
you got to
run home. Yeah, that's
it.
time for dinner. Yeah,
Right.
you're absolutely right.
And it just sort of I don't know, it decreases like the feeling of freedom for the kids,
Mm-hmm.
but also like it's not good for the parents either to always be worrying about your kid.
Yeah,
Because
the
you-
anxiety of
Right,
what's going
like-
on.
You have the ability to track them, so you're always going to.
Yeah,
And if it
And then,
shuts off
like,
for 5
yeah.
minutes, you're like, what's going on?
enabling the anxiety.
Yes.
So yeah, I mean that you got too, like we didn't necessarily lock our doors in the neighborhood I lived in. I just remember just coming home from school, and
Mm-hmm.
in elementary school, there's no one home, just walking in my door. That's completely unheard of now.
yeah, I don't recall now ever having the door locked or a
Yeah.
key being anywhere. We just open the door.
It's just again, the culture is completely different. And do you think like social media plays a factor in that? Because like if you hear of something that happens, it just goes nationwide,
Yeah.
right? Rather than what something that happened in Oregon,
Sure.
something probably pretty catastrophic, but you just didn't have the technology
know.
of like really what's going on.
Yeah, like
Like
I'm sure
now.
if there were like posters of a man on the loose, like a mass murderer on the loose in the 80s, people would be freaking out.
They're freaking out.
But those
Absolutely.
posters are everywhere
Yeah.
on these 6-inch
Yeah.
devices.
Yeah,
That's true.
That's a good point.
That's very true. I have to believe. Yeah. So
You're
it's
taking
just-
me down memory lane.
oh man, yeah, had some good times. I was always outside.
It was like the Sandlot. You remember the movie Sandlot?
Oh yeah,
It
There's
was
a
like
lot
that.
of truth to that.
It was getting into stuff, building forts. It was
Yeah.
playing. We did a lot of tackle football in a ditch.
Oh yeah,
Mm,
yeah.
Basketball.
I remember DCF called my parents because the school was concerned. I was going to school with like black
Bruises and
eyes
stuff.
and bruises, and they thought they were beating the shit out of me. And so
That's not what happened.
no, of course not.
Yeah.
But
We-
it just but that again, that's what the neighborhood I grew up in, and we were just always out and about.
How many kids were in your neighborhood, would you say, that were playing at one time? Jake, listen to this. I don't know if you
Yeah.
had the same experience.
outside?
Like-
Well, there were all these different cliques, and sometimes we would all get together and do. I mean, you had your Dungeons and Dragons clique that was over here,
Yeah.
which I got involved with that.
Cool kids.
And then you had the guys that were always wanting to play. It depended on what sport what was going on.
How big was your neighborhood? Was it a neighborhood as in the sense that there was 75 houses, or are you talking about like?
It's well, this is in St. Pete. It was at the time. It was more of a newly developed neighborhood. It was in Pinellas County, and I don't know, just probably within like several blocks, we had probably, I don't know, a couple hundred homes, I guess. Yeah. It was.
You ever have
walk to the bus stop, which was like it felt like a mile and a half.
Have you ever seen the movie Richie Rich?
Richie? Yeah.
It's back in the 90s, right?
Yeah, I used to watch that. Yeah. Yeah, he had everything. He had
Yes.
he had the train.
But he wanted a normal life.
Mm-hmm.
He was at some event one time and he saw these kids outside playing.
Yeah.
I guess I don't know where he was at, and he was like, "I want that." Dude had a McDonald's in his house, right?
Yeah.
Helicopter,
Yeah.
got everything he wants, right?
Yeah.
That's
That's funny. He wanted what we wanted.
Right.
What we had, but
We're like, we want that.
we all wanted that right there.
But he ended up showing up and going downtown and playing, I guess, ball with the guys or baseball in the
Mm-hmm.
streets. But that's for me, it was growing up like that. We had, at one time, 10 to 12 that hung out all the time.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
within a year or two
yeah.
of the age, right? We were,
yeah.
and we all got into everything, went to the
Sure.
lake, built stuff, did stuff, hung out.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's exactly how it was. I was very, very lucky. I had a tremendous childhood. I was very fortunate. But the area, from what I could remember, the neighborhood in the beginning when I was really young, there were a lot of Northerners that lived in that area. And of course, my parents are Northerners.
Mhm.
They're all from New York and New Jersey. So I always felt like New York and New Jersey was all right there. So I never,
yeah.
and then that was kind of my bubble. I had the Italian families all around me, and
Mhm.
I grew up, with the my father being Italian. It was just that was like, everyone had that New York accent,
Mm-hmm.
like my neighbors and whatnot. So, and then kind of when I got out of there, I was like, oh, this is crazy. This is a little bizarre. And then, you just kind of kept moving from this little area to here, to here, and to here. It was pretty remarkable. So what it is that I could remember certain times of my age of what I was doing and the culture and the setting of that time. And then when I got a little older, I kind of graduated from that. And sports played a very, very vital part in my life. It was just constantly playing sports.
Well, you were drafted.
Not necessarily, but
Did you talk? You weren't drafted pro?
I was a free agent and tried out, and I made the club.
Which club was that?
And with the White Sox. Yeah, it was. Yeah.
You're an athlete then. I'm now bestowing that label
Listen,
upon you.
the area that I lived in was a huge baseball.
Yeah.
They just love baseball. In that area as well. I had spring training was literally just within miles away from me. All the spring training you could possibly imagine. Like the Mets and the Cardinals shared a complex, which was not too far from me. And then you had the Detroit Tigers, which is just like an hour away. And you had the Phillies, which was in Clearwater. And, and just probably 15 minutes from Clearwater was Dunedin. That's where the Blue Jays did their spring training. So I, just kind of, my dad, one of the greatest things is like in school, he would just get me out of school early, and he would just do it just like that, and then he'll pick me up and we'll go to watch the New York. That's why I'm a huge New York Mets. Why I was a huge New York Mets fan, because they were they spring trained right down the street from my house. Oh, and the Yankees, they were in Tampa.
Legends Field, right? Don't they have
The Yankees are in Legends in Tampa, and at the time they were in Tampa, and the New York Mets, they spring trained at Elling Stadium. And the actual complex where they practice was just a few miles down the road from where I lived. So I had the ability to watch these guys, the Darryl Strawberries, and I don't know if you remember, Dwight Goodens.
Of course.
And, I'm sitting in the stands just watching them practice.
So
and hardly anyone was there.
So I was a big Braves fan growing up.
Yeah, and they were in Orlando, the Kissimmee area.
That's incredible. Did you know all those major league teams were here in Florida?
Yeah, Florida
During
was
spring?
the
Yeah, I went to the Astros spring training game.
Yeah, that was
in,
Kissimmee.
Kissimmee.
Yeah, Kissimmee. area.
Wow. So would you? I feel like baseball's more of a northern sport though.
Yeah,
It's more
yeah.
popular north.
Yeah.
Football in the south.
Yeah, yeah.
Even basketball.
Well, they all brought their all the sports were they all started up in like New York.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, that's where we're populated, and that's where most of the wealth was established. These southern states back then really didn't. We were poor states for a very long time.
That's true.
So yeah, everything was established pretty much up north. Yeah. So yeah, but all the teams.
Well, thank you guys for coming down here.
Well, no, the reason so like with baseball, baseball's it's a summer sport. So spring training, it's still cold up north. So they would just do their exhibitions here, and they do it now in Arizona too. Most of the teams in the West, from the Dodgers and the Anaheim Angels and all them, they do it now. And Arizona's starting to get a lot of teams leaving from Florida to go to Arizona. And so they come down here and they play like a month or so.
And then go back up.
But a lot of the fans, they come down here, brings an economic impact.
Oh, yeah.
And also, like, they'll employ people from up north to come down, like the Detroit Tigers, where it's the stadium that's in Lakeland. It's the tip of my tongue. But, they bring, like, the people from up north to come and stay down here for a period of time to help run that's
a pretty cool gig.
spring training. Yeah.
Especially if it's still cold up there, right?
Oh, yeah.
When does spring training start?
April.
April.
March, April.
Yeah, it's cold up
It's
north.
still cold.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love spring training. So but anyway, just playing baseball, playing sports all year round, and it was all volunteer based. So it was kind of like a community thing, which I always appreciated. My dad and my mom were very highly involved with whether working the concessions, coaching a team, being the president or the whatever, and that was really the culture I grew up in. And that goes for my two sisters as well. So I was pretty fortunate. I had a very good childhood.
Yeah.
I was very lucky. Yeah, especially the neighborhood I grew up in. How was yours?
We had 12 kids. We played sports. It wasn't a lot. I mean,
But you were here. This is what you
This is
had.
it.
You had the rec center.
Yeah.
Well, the rec center was actually starting to get its way.
We didn't really go there though. Never went there. We just played in the neighborhood. Didn't even really get
Was
involved.
that like a mile away? I mean, the way you looked at it, although it was just right down the street.
We played a little bit of rec ball.
Mm-hmm.
Looking back, a couple of us played rec basketball. I don't think any of the friends really played football or anything. I think we just had our group and we just played, and we got super soakers and threw balloons at people's cars driving by, and they were slamming on the brakes, and that's not cool to do, by the way. It's not cool, but I can't say I was the leader of that group. I wasn't. No. But
Who was it? Do I know him?
no, but I don't want to put their names out here and get them in trouble for throwing Nerf balls. At someone.
Throwing water balloons.
It was kid stuff, but it's why I also am laid back when it comes to kids doing stupid stuff. Well, you know what? I was a kid too. So, speaking of kids, we've got a segment coming up. If Jake hits the horn, we'll start it. And I'm not sure if you're ready for this. It's kind of on the spur of the moment.
Let's do it.
I think it's top right. I think so.
That's the first time I've used it live on the podcast.
I know. Hey, here's what you have to do. Okay. In here.
What are we naming this segment?
Tell us about your job. Tell us about your job segment. I don't know. What do you want to call it? We can do this right now.
Dirty jobs from a hat.
But it may not all be dirty though.
Okay. I don't know. You should have had a name to start with.
It's embarrassing.
You want to try it and then
It's amateur hour.
probably come up with a name.
You call it what you want. We're going to call this 60 seconds. Your job in 60 seconds is what it's called.
Your job. That's really good.
Called,
actually.
I know it's good because all I needed was 2 seconds to think about it.
Right.
It's called your job
Right on
in
the
60
fly.
seconds. So you're going to reach in here, okay? And you're going
Okay.
to pull out a piece of paper.
Okay.
Whatever.
Are you
job,
going to do this too?
Yes. Yeah. Right. You go 1 and 1.
I thought he just did it.
No, we don't want to put him on the spot like that.
Okay, I'll do
You
it
did
too.
good earlier. We tried one out.
Okay, you do first.
Okay.
Well, the one I tried out's not in here, so I don't think
Yeah,
it
that's
is.
fine.
So I'm the guinea pig.
Yeah, you're going to grab a job out of here, and you have to pretend for 60 seconds this is your job, and you have to explain what you do every day on this job.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Now hold on. Before I do this, who are the ones that came up with these?
This is ChatGPT.
Yeah, I said top 10 dirty jobs,
Yep.
and it spit them out, and then I cut it up into pieces of paper.
So okay, I grab it, I pick it out, and then I have to explain to you. I mean that.
Yeah, you just explain.
Do you have to like guess it or?
No, there's no guessing. We have to determine if we believe that you really know what you're doing on this job.
Okay. So I
Okay.
can't tell you, of course. Like,
You're gonna open. Yeah, you're gonna open it up and read it.
okay,
Yeah, you're gonna open it up and
Okay.
read it, and it's gonna tell you what job you have,
okay,
and you can tell us the definition of the job and everything, and then we'll say, all right, go, and you
All
start talking about the job.
okay.
Okay.
You're doing this as well, right?
Okay, yeah, I'll do it.
I'll get a timer up.
I got to do it in 60 seconds.
Well, you have 60 seconds to tell us about the job.
First read, is that part of the?
Yeah, read it. We won't start the time yet, and you can have 61 seconds if it's.
Oh, come on.
Oh, you got to read it out
I'm
loud.
sorry, read it out loud. What's-
Sewer inspector. Is this the one you really wanted me to get?
Nah, there's other ones like that in
All
there.
right.
So what's it say?
This job involves inspecting and maintaining sewer systems, which can involve working in confined spaces and dealing with unpleasant odors.
Ooh.
All right.
All right. So here's.
Okay.
You want to count down or?
Well, I'm just gonna say. So, count down when I say go. I say so. In 60 seconds, tell us about your job as a sewer inspector. You have 60 seconds.
60 seconds.
How's that?
You know, I have. Hold on. I don't. Because you know what my job. I
Yeah.
work for the city, and I have some wonderful people that do this.
so you can't be deprecating.
Do you need to draw another one out?
No, wait. I can probably pull this off. All right, let's. Okay,
All right.
okay. Let's do this.
Yeah.
Okay.
3, 2, 1, go.
I have the opportunity to meet all walks of life.
Right.
I get to know them from a place of.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't want to go with my first thinking here.
Of what? What your job is, a sewer inspector? First off,
Maintain the sewer system, which can involve working with confined spaces and deal with unpleasant odors. So the thing that pops in my head, it's like, not only did I get to know you, I know what you ate last night. I mean, kind of thing.
yeah. So, what's it look like? You climb down in the sewers?
Yeah, we climbed. Well, it's not necessarily climb down in sewers, but I would suspect that with the piping and et cetera, if anything kind of gets clogged, we have to pretty much go in there and unclog it.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's impressive.
is that
Yeah, that's good.
okay? Well, now
I'm going next.
Yes, I'm sorry, man.
It's okay. It's okay. I'll draw next.
Okay,
I'll draw next, and then we'll
just
Still
put
have
this
time to
one.
spare.
Yeah, let's put.
put this one back in. You ready for mine?
Yep. Give me 1 second.
Let's see.
I think Jake should do one too.
Ooh,
Oh, Lord.
porta potty servicer.
So what's the theme here?
Well, there's just 30 jobs, and this is what came up. They're not all potty, but this one came up. Said workers in this field service and clean portable toilets, which can be messy and an odorous task.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
We have a very dear friend who
You ready,
is in
Ben?
the business.
Yes, we do.
All right. In 3, 2, 1.
So I've been servicing porta potties for years now.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you, it's one of those jobs that's enriching. It's also rewarding
Okay.
in so many ways. First off, what we do is we go in and sanitize it. We spray stuff all around to make sure it's clean. We have a truck that comes in and pumps stuff out.
Okay.
But this one time, the truck wasn't on time, and some kids had pushed me in and locked the door and then flipped the thing over. So needless to say, I was dirty for a few days. But the job is one that someone has to do,
Yeah.
and I'm willing to step up and do it. Do the do.
Yeah.
Thank you for your
Do the
service.
do.
Do for the do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You still have 15
And
seconds.
it was rewarding.
Oh, yeah. When you get to go home and smell a nicer smell than what you're smelling at work all day, you feel a reward at the end of the day.
Okay.
End of every day you go home, you have a reward, and that's
You've earned your keep.
of course, and I recommend other people do it too. Everybody should have the experience. You only get to go one time. Oh, you think producer Jake?
I think he should.
You think Sloan
I
should
think-
go?
Yes, I think.
Okay.
But I know it's going to be challenging for him to do.
Oh,
he's
it's not
gonna have
bad.
he's going to have to do.
Oh, I'm going to have to do both.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you let that go.
This
for,
will be. This will.
Well, we're not doing commercials for people here.
Yeah, sorry. Oops.
That's
Take it
okay.
off.
So
Yeah.
no big deal. The camera's on you, so you go ahead.
Well-
You wanted Jake to do it, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Give me
yeah.
1 second. I got to
I'd
get my
like to-
timer.
Yeah, take your time.
Oh, Lord.
Can we
Okay.
can we go in there and pick it out?
I
Oh,
don't.
yeah,
no, wait,
pick mine for me.
no,
Pick
Yeah,
mine.
yeah,
Are you sure?
Yeah, pick it out.
Okay.
You got it.
All right. Let me see this. You want me to read it to you, or I think let me
Yes.
do that. Oh, coal miner.
Okay.
Coal miner work underground in the mines to extract coal. facing challenging conditions such as dust, dirt, and potential health risks.
I told you they're not all bad.
No, they aren't.
Although
It's just
that'll kill you.
The two, yeah. Well, very true.
Well, think about that. Which job would you take? I would
Porter.
take porta potty all day over coal mine.
Yeah.
Well,
Let's
Jake
let him
may
describe his
convince
job.
us.
Yeah. Describe.
Am I trying to convince you of how cool it is, or
we need to have
what's
our
my
angle.
goal here?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I think your angle's like, how cool is it? Like,
I think that's.
I think
Okay.
you have to
Yeah.
be. Here's
Okay,
no.
here's what it is.
You
Sorry.
got to be enthusiastic about your
Yes.
job.
Yes. We need to act as if we are in front of a class of elementary schoolers, and we're trying to. It's like a career day thing.
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
I dig that.
Right.
You have to be enthusiastic about your job, though, right?
Yes.
Oh, you're around a bunch of kids.
We've
right?
already gone. It's on
All
you
right.
now.
So it's my turn.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I love my job. I love being a coal miner. I love the chronic asthma and phlegm that I have. Oh, is that too loud?
Oh yeah.
I love working the 15-hour shifts and having to use a pickaxe. I love the fact that my life and livelihood depends on a canary. And if the canary takes an off day, me and all my friends die. I love coming home looking, let's say, a bit. I love, I love being a hardworking man. Any questions?
No, so you're in the coal mine, and you're. I don't know. That's not healthy, right? You cancer, the vapors, or do y'all have?
Oh
like,
yeah,
mask on,
I
or-
have 3 different types of lung cancer.
Oh,
Yeah.
not good.
I'm gonna.
Oh, it's
choose-
great.
Yeah, I
It's
think
benefits.
if I'm the kid in the class, I'm going with the porter serve.
All right.
Right?
Yeah, I would be a porta potty guy before I would do the and sewer guy.
Yeah.
I thought you did a great job.
No,
Thank
you
you.
really
Yeah.
did. You were the best.
It was a bit too far, but yeah.
Sounds like I'm probably beeping that out now.
We'll be all right. It's just my reputation, not yours.
Beep.
Okay.
All right, so here I want to go one more direction on
Let's
this
do it.
this podcast.
With the
Oh, you're
No.
only doing one each?
Yeah, we're not going to keep on going.
All right,
It's
fine.
just a segment. It's just a segment.
We're feeling it out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
If you want to talk about a subject, what you do is you go to Google and say, what's the most search thing?
You want to see some really messed up videos?
Yeah, do that.
Yeah,
But and then I want to talk about aliens, man. Have you ever seen one?
No.
You ever seen
Oh,
a ghost or alien?
No.
Okay.
Aliens? No. I haven't seen.
But ghosts.
Have you?
I've got a guest that's going to come on that
I got to kind of hear this.
I've got a guest coming on that has seen an alien.
Encountered
Yes.
here in Turkey Creek.
No.
No.
At her house, but not like in the sense of the physical form of the alien itself, the craft, the aircraft, or whatever you call it,
UFO.
the UFO, the object. They saw the object, seen it several times, and have a theory on why and how aliens are here. And people think she's crazy, and she says, "No, I don't drink, and I'm not crazy. I know what I saw, and if you don't believe me, I don't care." But she saw a UFO. So
You ever watch that show? It was on Netflix. Skinwalker Ranch.
Mm-mm.
It was pretty interesting. I mean, I don't know if I'm buying it, but it was good for television. But it has a lot of views. It's one of the the biggest like kind of TV shows, and like Netflix.
It's a Netflix thing.
Yeah, it's a Netflix thing. Yeah,
I'll check it out.
It was just like they bring some aerospace engineer guy from NASA to come and check out this area in Utah where radiation is at, like it fluctuates.
Wow.
And just bizarre things that happen. And when they shine some infrared over the mountains, it's showing light that you can't see with the naked eye, but it shows up on the infrared, and they actually caught on camera UFOs. And like cows have been mutilated, I guess.
Yeah, I've heard about that stuff.
And it's happened on this ranch, and it happens at certain times when radiation is really high, and it's pretty. And this is something that's been going on since the Indians when they used to own the lands, and they've had some, they've talked about it and it got passed on to generation. They couldn't quite figure it. I think with the Indians, they felt it was kind of like that area was sacred ground.
So you don't mess
Had
with it.
something
Yeah.
to do with their religion. It's just, probably watch it. It was pretty fascinating.
So, so this guest is going to come in, and we're going to dive deep into it.
So do you believe in aliens?
I have a hard time with things I don't see.
True.
Believing. However,
Do you believe in God?
well, you're going religion there, and that's called faith.
I was about that.
Can I have faith in aliens?
You could.
Okay.
I think no one ever said, "Oh, there's God. He's walking outside." Okay, but they are saying there's aliens walking outside,
Mm-hmm.
or and aliens.
Is that what this lady is gonna?
Yeah. They're not saying there's God, he's walking outside. People from 2,000 years ago are saying there's God, he's walking outside.
That's what actually makes the whole religion of Jesus and the story of the Bible just so powerful. Is that to this day, it's the most famous, popular, known book.
Sure, but isn't it easier to verify claims made now instead of a long time ago?
Listen, at some point,
I'm not taking a stance here.
I know that. No, I know, and I'm not a theologist, and I'm not someone who can speak on religion to the nth degree. But I can tell you, you just have a hard time believing there are so many followers, and that it's just remarkable. I don't know. There are stories that we don't know about 50 years ago, but you got stories of thousands of years ago and things that have happened, and it seems to be, I don't know, well enough known or out there and talked about and discussed and believed in and prayed about that it still exists to this day, and it's still very powerful. But back to my aliens for a second.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like when Sloan does this.
Make you think.
Yeah, because I don't. That hurts. That hurts.
It hurts up here, huh?
It does.
Yeah. Well, we know, hey.
Right.
All right.
Yeah.
So anyhow, that podcast.
Are you out
is-
of your mind, Damon? Like that's all I want.
Well, so that podcast is gonna be awesome because look, I'm not gonna be here going, she's crazy. I don't think she's crazy. I think I want to hear her story. She also says she has video and pictures. She's got it
So
on her
bring
phone.
'em.
Yes.
I think
She's-
you need to actually challenge her, though. You can't just let someone go off on crazy rants if they end up being crazy rants.
I don't disagree with you.
Yeah.
I don't disagree. Challenging is not a problem.
Okay.
But to also people when you go, if 15 years ago I go, hey mom, I saw a UFO. She go, oh, you're stupid. Well, I don't know. In 2007, the United States government commissioned in the Department of Defense $600 million budget, whatever it was at the time, $22 million went to research on UFOs.
In 2007?
Yes.
22 million?
Yeah, $22 million.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I sent an email with the link to the article, the New York Times. And Harry Reid, I guess, was a senator from Nevada, commissioned this thing with this guy, some Bigelow, his last name is Bigelow or something like that, and to research this stuff. And now in today's news, it's picked up as, oh, what's that guy that just came out, the whistleblower, Bush?
I don't know.
Shoot.
What from?
I'll look them up.
From the federal government just came out as a whistleblower and saying, now here's the thing though, because I watched his interview. He says there are intact aircraft, and I want to say he even references bodies of aliens.
Mm-hmm.
Did he describe how they looked? And
That's the problem. He's saying that senior intelligence officials have come to him separately, to tell him about these things that he's seen.
David Grush.
Yeah, David Grush.
Yep.
He talks about the whole. He talks about what he's seen or what he's been told, and they told him independently. So, but he's never seen them, and so it's like, and he's. I don't know if he lost his job.
A lot of it was secondhand. That's where I'm.
So there you go.
Yeah.
I know, but
Yeah.
I'm not doing secondhand. I got this lady coming in firsthand
Yeah.
who said she's got pictures and video.
How'd you meet her?
I've known her, and she put a post on Facebook, and I went, and I called her and said, "Did you really see a UFO?" And she goes, "I did." She goes,
So
sure.
she was posting all this on.
She posted just one little clip. Okay, she's not actively on social media. She's a little older, and so is it going to be using social media as much as maybe some of us do? So she doesn't post that much. And she told me, she said she called the Department of Defense, and they never returned her call. Why is that funny?
It's funny.
No, it's not funny.
Explain why it's funny.
No, it's not. It's not funny because this lady thinks or believes she saw an alien or aircraft multiple times, by the way, and has videos and pictures.
Where does she live?
Florida.
Oh, you can't.
I-
You're gonna wait. Okay, I get it. You'll
Yeah.
wait until
I'm not going to give it away. So the
Yeah, you're
national
right. Good point.
media, if the national media wants to call me and say, "Hey Ben, can we talk to you?"
You're gonna be the agent.
Well, pay me first, right? If if Tom Brady can get money guaranteed up front, I can get money up front guaranteed. So yeah.
Real quick, Ben, I don't think saying that just because the government spent a lot of money in 2007 to research something means that there are things to research. Like humans forever have always been trying to figure out the unknown. You know, we were trying to chart the 7 seas before we knew that North America existed. So,
well,
same with the ocean. Like we're not really saying the Loch Ness Monster is out there, but we are looking all over the ocean.
how many pilots have to come out? By the way, I'm not wearing a tinfoil cap on my head,
Yeah.
but how many pilots have to come out and say, we saw stuff? And it's not just United States pilots, right? This is military pilots around the world. I got both sides, right? One side says, okay, with all the cameras we have out there, with all the satellites we have out here, we have nothing that's clear. We have nothing. It's like
The skeptic would say that's probably just advanced technology that the government hasn't released yet. Like for example, we had GPS in I believe the 40s, like GPS like we have today, like on Google Maps. We had GPS in the 40s, but it didn't really come out till like I want to say the 90s.
It's interesting you say that.
Yeah.
Because I have an article from the 1920s or 30s for hearing aids, little small hearing aids that go in your ear, and I'm like, they had those 80 years ago, 90 years ago, and you thought it was just a newer technology. You're right, and also water, hydrogen, cars running on water. These things,
But like, when did all this like really started?
the
popping
alien
off?
stuff.
Yeah, like when was this become? When did this become some kind of phenomenon, or like like what, was this like the 70s, or I mean, were these things?
Interesting
like,
you say
was
that.
there-
So it goes back to the late 1980s, Area 51. So there's a base there, and the
Sure.
base was used by the United States military, as I understand it, to create higher level aircrafts, to create and research and build and develop, and also do testing out there because there's nothing out there. And some guy came forward in the late 1980s and claimed that there were aliens and different stuff happened, and it sort of took on a mind of its own, and Area 51 kind of became this alien place.
Sure.
Which, by the way,
Yeah.
they do. Last year they did some event out there. It was either last year or 2001 where they were doing this big, we're going to do a run on Area 51. We're going to all these people. I'm not laughing at them
Okay.
because I could have been one of them, but I'm not.
Okay.
6,000 people got together, and they're going to basically just rush the base to find these aliens.
and
and
get
find-
shot.
Well, and what they ended
Right.
up doing was having a festival
Okay.
and celebrating.
Kind of like
aliens.
kind
Right,
of
but
like
we're
the
sorry, go ahead.
no. I was gonna go political. I'm sorry.
Oh.
It was gonna be bad, like kind of Rush, like Rush the Capitol.
Are you talking about an event maybe really early in the year of 2020?
The Capitol riots.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah. Shout out to those.
like
boys. Just kidding.
It's like that. It's also like people breaking into
we're going in.
protesting and breaking into buildings everywhere and just doing stuff. Just everything.
So apparently the first time the word extraterrestrial was that's not the article I pulled up. Sorry, I have it right here. Was in 1956.
Okay.
So I think that's around the time that we started to think about aliens a lot more in our zeitgeist. It's kind of weird that during the sort of boom of psilocybin, we start
Going in that
thinking and
direction.
talking about
Yes.
aliens a lot more. Also, the skeptic would say that a lot of these alien or UFO sightings are sort of a like a social contagion, like a copycat type of thing.
Yeah.
Like
an attention gatherer, right?
Right,
Part of
right.
that as well, right?
Mhm.
But like you gotta like, what about like during World War II? When we were doing more testing back then, as far as test piloting, for the aircraft, and like, was there any kind of documentation on that?
I don't know. From a military perspective, I don't know.
'Cause you got to think. I mean,
Well, I'm sure there is, but Jake, are you saying you don't think it exists?
I'm not I'm not really sure, but I'm just trying to make sure the best arguments are being brought up.
That's his job.
Yeah. Ben likes to take hard stances and then just.
It's not a hard stance. I just know that the average person goes, "Oh, that person's crazy," and they know what they're talking about, and they're they're off the rocker. And I'm going, maybe not.
Well, there are a lot of people that kind of went, that are out there that people actually think that. What's that, Larsis or something like that?
Bob Lazar.
Lazar, yeah.
He went on Rogan, I think, 3 times.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But didn't he do like that? There was a movie that came out.
There was a Netflix documentary. I would suggest
an actual movie and motion picture movie that was in the 90s.
Oh,
and I think that had a little bit to do with him. Like he was I don't know. He was cut down trees, and he was in Oregon or something like that, and
when he saw aliens.
Yeah, or when the ship took him, like the space shuttle, whatever it is. That's but the UFO.
That's not Bob Lazar then. I'm not sure who that is.
You sure about that?
Yeah, Bob Lazar was working at an adjacent facility to Area 51. I think it was called like N4, and he was I want to say engineer. Or maybe a physicist. I'm really not sure. But pretty much he got clearance for basically Area 51 and says he saw anti-gravitational spaceships that were about the size of this room, but with really small cockpits.
Wow.
So,
but there was a movie that came out in the 90s.
I think the idea is you think that can we please pretend for just a second that they really all believe they really exist, okay?
Mm-hmm. Sure.
You think that they get here and the reason we don't have good pictures is because they're like, it's almost like you went to the wrong exit and you got off. And you're like, hey, can you please leave planet Earth like as soon as you can? We do not need to stop at that place and just keep on going to the next planet. Yeah. It was an oopsie.
Well,
in Chicken Little.
Yeah. Well, the other rumors, have you guys heard that they're time travelers?
Mm-hmm.
Where like the Darren Dalton, who was a standout ball player for the Philadelphia Phillies, when he retired, he got really into this, and I think according to him, he talked about that he was abducted and things like that. So his theory is that these aliens, and this is not me saying, I mean, this is not my beliefs, but according to him, and there are some other people that kind of jumped on his bandwagon, that the aliens that's how our race will grow into, evolve into looking like. And they are time travelers just coming back and...
So let me ask you a question. I'm going to put you in a scenario. I'm going to give you a scenario. Out of 1,000 people, how many of those people do you think believe aliens exist? Out of 1,000. Let's do 100. 100 people.
15%? 20?
Okay. Let's take those 15% out. And we're at 85 people left. These 85 don't believe aliens exist. Mm-hmm. Okay. And we go into Nebraska and we go to a 10,000 acre cornfield, if that's even possible. And you stick 85 people, by themselves, individually, into a cornfield. And say, you need to stay here for the next 12 hours. Play some eerie music. Sit there for 12 hours at night. Hear me out. And there's not a bear coming out here or a lion, and there's no killers, right? There's nobody.
Rattlesnakes.
No rattlesnakes.
Okay.
They can get a little freaked out. The unknown. All of a sudden, the corn stalks start to shake a little bit, and the wind blows. Like, what was that?
Who's staying in a cornfield for 12 hours?
Well, I'm saying we're going to put you there. These 85 people don't believe in it, but all of a sudden, some weird stuff's happening out here. Now you believe all of a sudden?
Right, but that's not a natural occurrence, because what you're trying to say is like people, when they're left to themselves, can see spooky things, right? But that's a very unnatural habitat that you just put them in.
A cornfield's unnatural habitat?
For 12 hours in the dark with music playing? Yes, that's an unnatural habitat.
You brought up music playing.
Dude, I mean, you lost me when you...
There's a Bluetooth on it.
Right. I'm thinking of what music are they playing?
Yeah.
What is it? No, paint that picture. What music?
Like Frank Sinatra in the minor chord.
I was thinking about that movie that came out a few years ago where that girl's name, her name is Seven, I think. oh, it's a series on Netflix, I think, and I got into it. And there's a monster in the house, and there's this other dimension, and I don't know, some crazy, but she's got some powers. I don't know. I think you can spook yourself, and
Yeah, I understand that.
but I can tell you right now, if you put me, okay,
hypothetical
I'll
is
tell you
just
what.
ridiculous.
I tell you what.
What was that?
That was actually
I
perfect.
hit the board. Sorry.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
You hit the
do it
board?
Again, do it again. Do it again. Tell us what. Ready?
You ready?
Yep.
Put myself in the middle.
No,
of a
no.
corner.
You got to say. I'll tell you what.
I'll tell you what.
Yep.
Now, how does that happen? Unless something else is at play, right?
Mhm.
Put me in a cornfield, play some eerie music,
Mhm.
and I know there's no killer and bears, and I'm there's something else out here that's I can't explain.
This could
Okay.
be your next podcast.
Well, it's going to be. I'm trying to tell you, the lady's coming on here to talk about the aliens.
Ben, we're gonna put you in the cornfield. You're gonna pretend like you're in the cornfield.
That should be your. We should put that. In
Here's what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
You know how Major League Baseball's done this outfield, what's it called?
Field of Dreams.
Field of Dreams.
Field of
Where's
Dreams.
that taking place? In Iowa or something?
Iowa. Yeah.
I'm going to that field. When they shut the lights off,
You're gonna walk out there.
walk out to the
You're
middle
gonna
of
look
the
for
field.
Joe DiMaggio. No, was it Shoeless Joe Jackson?
There he is. Well, look. Anyhow, she's coming on the podcast now. Segue. Don't you have some videos or something?
Oh yeah, I do.
And
By the way, I do want to let you know. Speaking of podcasts, I thought everyone that you've had on here has been pretty.
Oh,
pretty
thank you.
remarkable.
Yeah.
Done a pretty good job.
well, I give those guests credit and producer Jake over here, and we
Yeah.
got some folks that tell some really good
Yeah,
stories.
you guys are. Yeah, you
Yeah.
guys are doing good.
Well, thank you.
This is pretty. This is just from. Oh,
See, I just got scared.
Yeah. Here's your area
is this the music you wanna
Yeah.
play in the cornfield? Is this?
Watch
Is
out.
this the direction you want to go? You're just making it more.
We're making fun of people who have seen these things, and I don't like that. What was that? Did you hear it? I'm sorry.
Okay.
Look,
Okay,
your
Ben,
points made.
Ben,
Your
apparently
points
you
made.
believe a little bit. I think I'm getting the impression that you believe in aliens.
I believe anything is possible. The Earth the universe is so big, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. When you're done, I have a cool thing to say.
I tell you what.
Yeah.
How many stars are in the galaxy?
I want to say 500.
Can you Google how many stars in the Milky Way galaxy real quick? I got a point to make here.
I have a better
Okay.
thing to tell you for a perspective.
Sure.
I was watching this interview that Neil deGrasse Tyson was doing with an astrophysicist, and she said, if the known galaxy, our galaxy and all of its stars and planets, was a part of the ocean, and we're trying to discover all of space. We're trying to map out the ocean. We have mapped out the equivalent of a 12-ounce, this is 32-ounce, bottle of water.
Of the galaxy.
Yes, of the universe. And so to say, well, there's no fish, aliens in here, so there must not be any fish, aliens in the universe / ocean. It's a little bit silly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we know there's something. You have to believe there's something more.
If
Don't
there's
know.
not, it's a bit odd.
Yeah.
Well, that's the
That's a
thing.
good way
So-
of looking at it.
so
Yeah. That's.
when Nancy comes in to talk about this, it's going to be awesome because this is someone who's really seen it.
Mhm.
Now,
Wait, you asked her if she was drinking, right?
no, she had said a friend said, "Hey, are you drinking?" And she said, "No, I don't
Right.
drink."
That's not what I would question her though. Like I would ask, like, are you taking copious amounts of mushrooms?
Well,
She
I just thought that claim was a bit
baby
odd.
boomer. I see. I
yes,
gotta like.
yes,
Okay.
yes.
Like. So she had fun back in the day.
I'm sure.
Okay.
I think
Actually-
it would be a good question to ask her if she has ever experimented with psychedelics.
Is it
Absolutely. That's what. I
from
was
okay?
gonna
So
get.
if someone had experienced that 50 years ago, you're saying now?
Let me tell you something.
Wait, what are you
My old
asking?
man.
Yeah.
You know, my dad,
Yeah.
Ben. Yeah, he gets flashbacks.
Okay.
From psychedelics?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Was it like acid?
Mescaline and all that good jazz?
Mm.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, because I hear acid stored in your spine.
Yeah.
And if you you can literally start tripping after a chiropractic adjustment.
What?
Yeah.
He's mentioned some things where he's just had some kind of like, just all of a sudden it would just like kick in.
Right.
He's done quite a bit. I mean, he was a,
Just
my
starts
dad
hearing
was
Jimi
a,
Hendrix all of a
yeah,
sudden.
my dad, he grew up in New York, New
Yeah.
Jersey during the 60s. What's the name of that club? CBGB's? You heard of that? Like where like where the Ramones played, and it's like a little hole in the wall in New York City. My dad, it's like a very famous place. It's at the Hard Rock Cafe. They talk about it. CBG. But anyway, he went to he went to Woodstock. You know, he's this guy just.
It's possible then. So what you're saying is there's an opportunity. It's possible still.
Right.
I get you never know. You never know.
Well, so
I just need evidence,
okay.
like that concrete, hardcore evidence.
So there was a shark attack in Egypt, killed a person off the coast of a resort.
That is a perfect segue to our next segment. Have you heard about this, Damon?
You know about the shark attack?
I heard about the orcas.
Here's the shark attack right here.
Oh, I don't want to see it. Is that him?
Yeah. This is our next segment, brutal deaths. Just kidding. But yeah, this is in Egypt. He's swimming. He goes under. Literally looks like a cartoon.
Oh, man. Whoa. What is this? The victim's distraught girlfriend managed to escape. Oh, so she was down there as well.
Yikes.
That was it?
Oh, it didn't. Oh. The one on Twitter was absolutely crazy. I'll
probably-
try to find it.
I couldn't
probably
watch that.
tried
I couldn't
to-
watch that.
You
I
heard-
don't watch that stuff.
You heard about the orcas? They're figuring out ways to tip boats? Something
Well,
like that? Did you
yeah,
read
I
about
did.
that? Yeah.
Did. They
I
say
get
they're
these
playing.
like feeds on my.
They say they're playing and stuff.
Oh, okay. They're highly intelligent.
Well, they captured the tiger shark that killed the guy. It's really sad. You saw he had no
Oh, was it-
chance. I don't know how big the guy was, but he had zero chance there.
Oh, I don't know what's playing right now.
It was a tiger shark?
Well, the tiger shark, they captured the tiger shark, and they're now studying to see why the tiger shark attacked the guy.
Probably looked like lunch.
Food.
Yeah.
Like, what are you studying? It's really,
yeah.
it's sad. But I don't know what you're studying. I guess they're going to look to see if there's some change
In
because
Egypt,
they don't typically. Yeah, it's off the coast of a resort, off the coast of a resort in Egypt. But they're animals. That's what they do. They're in the water.
I don't know. I mean, it's always risky, right? I would assume it's just risky if it was scuba diving or he was just swimming, or snorkeling
Swimming.
or whatever.
He was
Just swimming.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, who knows why? And you would think, and I don't know the size, but you think of the tiger shark. He was with his girlfriend. The tiger went after him. I'm assuming he's bigger. Usually men are bigger than the woman, maybe. And like they say, like alligators will size people up. Like if it's a little puppy, little kid.
Yeah,
versus big.
absolutely.
And when the tiger shark went, I'm gonna go after the bigger person. I wonder.
Just grab him. I don't
Is
know.
that him?
Is this it right here?
Yeah, that's it.
Oh man.
I think so.
Oh, okay. It's just, jeez. Wow. Whoa.
Yeah. He's screaming right here. The audio's not working, but
Don't
he's
turn it
screaming,
up.
"Help me."
And it came and got him again.
He must have been a tourist because he was in Egypt speaking English. But also, I don't know much about Egypt. So. Yeah. there we go.
Got him. I mean,
Ugh.
you know, the guy filming, how far was he?
It was a girl. It looks pretty zoomed in. So also, like, what are you
Yeah.
gonna do? You know.
True. Well, if you're in a boat, but oh, you said just right off the coast, so they're probably on land or on a pier.
No,
Oh, there's a boat right there.
Yeah. Just a minute too late.
Oh man. Yeah.
Where's Batman with a shark repellent when you need him?
Oh, that sucks.
well, note to Jake,
What's up?
we can't ever play a video like that in a podcast again.
That was pretty interesting.
I don't watch that stuff.
No.
No. That right there is the line for me.
Yeah.
I watched a beheading one time.
I've never. I wouldn't watch that.
I watched it 15 years ago. The Wall Street journalist out of was killed in Afghanistan, I believe. I watched that and I went, never again. I can't
That
watch.
could be
but
traumatizing.
it is. Well, that's why I don't watch.
Like just in general or on the podcast?
No,
'Cause it
I won't
wasn't
watch anytime.
shown.
No, I won't ever watch it. No,
Oh.
that puts me in a bad mood. Because I don't like seeing somebody get killed, a human being get killed. It was an animal is different for me. Animal get killed. I
Sometimes
don't
it's
care.
even it's kind of challenging for me to watch that, even when
Yeah.
when that alien.
The
when
only,
animal is
the
getting
only saving grace of that video is that it's over and that guy's pain is gone. However, the sharks go, I don't really care because you guys kill us all the time. But, I'm not talking to sharks.
Jesus.
But that's sad. Thanks, Jake, for ruining the podcast.
Dude,
Totally
you're
screwed up an
so
hour and a
welcome.
half. God. So anyhow,
You don't like just experiencing the vast array of emotion?
well, I
Just
think
wanna stay in your little-
I think that's shows that's like the Grand Theft Auto. That's like you don't have any you're desensitized.
Amazing game, by the way.
Right. Oh, go shoot people. I don't really care. He's dying.
Yes.
That video was horrible. That was someone's last moments, and to see it, I can't. That's hard for me.
Well, what are you watching these days? What
Sorry for
keeps
triggering
you?
you.
I watch Little Mermaid,
Yeah.
Aladdin.
I have a couple funny videos if that you want
Yeah, we can lighten it up and then get out of here.
to. Okay.
Which, by the way, I've already decided the podcast. What we're going to do is I'm gonna split it up into clips, and the alien's going to become a segment.
Yep.
You remember that?
I could dig that.
Wait, you're like not going to release the whole thing?
Heck no.
Why not?
Oh, I really didn't like that part. No, hell
Probably
no.
this part right here.
No, you're good. No. I'll get the first parts all the way to the end of the alien, and then we'll cut it out. I'm not showing that crap. But then also,
The
yeah,
sound's not working actually. It's weird.
it's not running through there somehow.
No, I don't know.
Didn't you have it once running though?
Yeah. I've always been able to put it on here.
That's odd. Great job, producer. Let's put this whole.
Hey.
Hey, shout out to your equipment.
Are you going out of town anytime soon?
End of the month,
You
July, into July.
Gatlinburg?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
How often
be
have you
up
been
there.
going there?
Since I was a kid.
No, just like in the last year or so.
Oh, I go there 5 times a year.
Okay.
I've been there once.
Sorry.
So it is
Figured
there.
it out. Yeah. I just
I was looking at it. I was like, it's down.
Oh, why didn't you tell me?
All right, so Damon's in the house, and we're looking at some funny videos and getting some reactions. Damon, you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
He asked if I can pay it at the front. Pay for AirPods.
Oh, I saw this.
Excuse me, ma'am. Would you mind being in video?
No, that'd be fine.
All right, so pick a number between 1 and 10.
Let's say 7.
7? Well, it's your lucky day. You just won brand new AirPod Pros.
Wow, you're kidding me. Really?
Yeah.
Free?
Yeah.
Why?
You won. Nothing. You won.
He just got that out of the electronics
Yeah.
section.
Have a
I
good one.
Thank you.
oh.
That's so wrong.
That is so wrong, but that was.
But why'd they cut the video?
Okay.
Keep
do
it
you mean?
playing.
No. The comedic thing was hit, and that's.
Okay, I'm going to take it a step further for you, though. How about it was fake?
That wasn't
How about
fake.
how about they piped that alarm in, and the reason they cut the video is because the woman kept going and it never went off.
You are a conspiracy theorist. Here's another one. Here's
Oh, I saw
here's
this.
Fast and Furious 11.
Oh, this is horrible.
You stay here just for a second. Be right back, okay? Stay there.
Looks like security footage.
Oh man.
Golly. That right there. I'm assuming she's okay.
Her hip's not.
No.
Yeah, that's
I'm
easily a hip replacement.
He was yelling granny at the end.
He said hit the brakes,
Mhm.
which is that little knob thing that's going to push. The brakes work on those things when you're not going that fast.
That's going to be a complicated relationship for the remainder of.
Oh, I don't know how he can ever look at her. And,
With this thing going viral as well.
yeah, that's not. Yeah, she wrote him out of the will immediately.
That was a good one.